Awesome. Okay. So you're very welcome to IACA. These are some of the things that we are offering lately. I think you've been taken through all this from the previous lessons. If you've not, then I'll just use a minute to go through some of what we offer. So in case you like the experience you're having on IACA, you can always subscribe to any of these. So we have classes that go from P1 to senior 6. If you have brothers or sisters who would love to join, you can register. The links are in there. We have Educare, one of our websites where we have a lot of work that you can download and utilize. The prices and everything are there. This document will be shared in the WhatsApp group so you can go through all of them. Okay. So, but today we'll be looking at biology and introduction, just the basics. And when we're looking at biology, we're just looking at a branch of science that deals with the study of living organisms. Now, who can define for us what a living organism is? What is a living organism?
A living organism is any organism that has life.
Okay, living organism is an organism that has life. That's good. What else? Who can try? You can either raise up your hand or unmute your volume and speak. Okay, so when we're looking at living organisms, we just concentrating on those particular organisms or living things that have certain processes. These processes we shall look at later. We call them life processes. If anything can do those life processes, we call it a living organism. Okay, we shall look at that later. Now here we have a picture showing living and non-living organisms. As you can see, this side here, we have the living organisms, okay? And then this side, we have the non-living organisms. So some of the things that you play with are not living organisms, but the things that you see on this side of living organisms here, those are living, and I'm sure you encounter them every day in your daily life. For example, you have a mushroom, a flower, a zebra, a tree, a dragonfly, fish, crocodile, etc. All those are living organisms. Okay. All right, so here we have another picture that is showing us a mixture of living and non-living organisms. Now I'm going to point at a picture and then you tell me if it is living or non-living. I have this one here.
Living.
Very good. That is very good. I'm going to point at another one. This one here.
Non-living.
Very good.
Non-living.
That is very good. I'm pointing at another one right now. Which one is that?
Non-living.
Correct. Very good. You're doing well. What about this one?
Living.
That is very, very correct. That is very, very correct. Well done. This is good. What about this?
Living.
Living. That is correct.
Living organism.
Very correct. Well done.
Yeah.
And lastly, I have this one.
Non-living.
Non-living. 100% correct. So well done. Now you know the difference between the living and non-living in terms of examples. That is very, very good. Okay. We can continue. We have branches of biology that we can look at. The branch that I want us to look at briefly is this one, because it is in play today in our society. We call it epidemiology, and the person who does this, or the person who engages in this branch of biology, we call them an epidemiologist. Okay, so an epidemiologist, what they do is investigate the causes of diseases and other public health problems to prevent them from spreading or from happening again. They report their findings to public policy officials and to the general public. Okay, now here I have a question for you. How is this branch of biology being utilized today? What thing is going on in Uganda today where this branch is being used? Who can tell me?
The search of COVID-19.
Okay, research on COVID-19. Who else would love to try? Yes. Another idea? Okay, so yes, you're correct. This is being used in research about COVID-19. So every time you hear the president speak, the things he's speaking about are collected and researched upon by epidemiologists. Okay, I think last week or probably, yes, last week he spoke, and whatever he said was researched by Ugandan epidemiologists. For him, he prefers to call them scientists. Okay, but scientist is a general word. Even a civil engineer is a scientist. Okay, but to be specific, these are called epidemiologists. I hope by now you know how to pronounce the word. Okay, who can try pronounce it for us before we move forward? Let me see someone who has got it.
Epidemiologist.
Epidemiologist.
Awesome, that is great.
Epidemiologist.
That is great. You guys can pronounce it even better than me. That is absolutely great. Okay. So let's continue. I have here other pictures. Okay. I'm going to point at each, and then you will tell me the branch of biology that is in place, or what that is being utilized. We have picture number one. This person here, what branch of biology are they using? Actually, not exactly branch. You can just say the profession, because this is a profession now. These are professions. Let's say the professions. Which profession is this that is utilizing biology?
Is botany.
Teaching.
Okay,
Teaching.
someone mentioned botany. Let me first correct someone who
Teaching.
mentioned botany. So they are teaching about the flower. Therefore, the branch is botany, but the profession, we are looking at professions. The profession is teaching. So most of you are correct. Is teaching. Very good. Another profession is here where I'm pointing, number 2. Who can tell me what number 2,
Fishing.
which profession is that?
Fishing.
Fishing.
Very correct. It is fishing indeed. These people are fishing. You can see the net, you can see the fish, and you can see the pond. That is good. We have picture number 3. Which profession is this?
Immunization.
Immunization.
Okay.
Immunization.
Okay. Very good.
Immunization.
Medication.
Medication.
Immunization.
Oh,
Immunization.
awesome.
Immunization.
Very good. This is immunization, but the profession that the person who is immunizing is in, we call them what?
Doctors.
Doctors.
A
Very
doctor.
correct. So the profession is a doctor. Picture number 4.
Veterinary surgeon.
Drenching.
Okay.
Drenching.
All right. That is very correct. This is veterinary, or you can call it drenching, whatever. What about this guy here, number 5?
Gardening.
Garden.
Okay, you can see flowers. How do we call this profession that involves growing
Gardening.
of flowers?
Gardening.
Gardening. Pruning.
Floriculture.
Floriculture.
Hmm?
Floriculture.
Floriculture, very correct. The person who has mentioned, the 2 people who mentioned floriculture, you're very, very correct, okay? Study of flowers.
Floriculture.
What about here, where I'm pointing? Number 6. Which profession is at number 6 here?
Zoology.
Okay, zoology.
Zoology.
Okay. Yes, this is part of zoology, but the profession is so here, this person is standing in a conservation area. Okay. So this one is a conservationist, or if it is a game park, it can be a game park ranger. That is the profession. We have seen number 7 already. What about number 8? Do you know number 8?
Feeding animals.
Okay, feeding animals. Okay, so this person is probably either in a zoo or also in a game park. So they can be a ranger or an animal caretaker in a zoo or anything like that. Let's go straight to number 12. What about number 12? Which profession falls under number 12?
Making. Making.
Okay. Who else wants to try?
Cooking.
What?
Chemical making.
Okay. So number 12, we can see a lot of fruits and vegetables and other things, okay? So this person is actually a nutritionist. They're trying to show you the foods that you can eat to be healthy. Okay, let's look at a branch of biology called zoology. So zoology is a branch of biology that deals with the study of animals. So every time you see someone who deals with studying animals, they can be in a zoo, they can be in a game park, they can be just in the wild. Most of you, when you're watching TV, have watched National Geographical channel, that Nat Geo World channel. Most of the people who are there are mostly studying animals, and they take those videos and documentaries just to show different animal behavior and things like that. So when you see that, every time you see that, just know you are in the branch of biology that we call zoology, study of animals. Okay. So even when you look at videos where all these animals are, just know you're looking at zoology. As you can see also in this picture here, these people are trying to study this animal. Who knows the name of this animal? Who can tell me?
A koala.
Koala.
Oh, wow, you guys are very smart. That is very nice. This is a koala. Who knows where they are mostly found?
Australia.
Australia, that is 100% correct, okay? Koalas are mostly found in Australia. A few years ago, about 1 or 2 years ago, there were fires in Australia and very many koalas died, and people were scared they might become endangered. So, also biology, when you study biology, you can learn how to conserve animals so that they don't become extinct, okay? These koalas are very, very nice animals. They're very good for our ecosystem. So if they got extinct, the earth wouldn't be the same again. Okay, so that's good. I'm glad that you know what a koala is and where they are found. Very good. Another branch is botany. Who can tell me what botany is? What is botany?
Botany is the branch of science that deals with the study of plants.
Okay, study of plants. That is very correct. Yes, botany is a branch of biology that deals with the study of plants. So when you look at people who study certain plants and then they discover probably certain medicines out of them, or they just take care of them so that they don't also become extinct and things like that. People who grow flowers and other plants, those are all botanists. Okay, my favorite botanists are landscapers. Those people who make sure that they plant very nice flowers around the compound and things like that. Those ones are my favorite because they make places look very, very, very nice. If you have visited some places, some schools, maybe probably your school, and they have very nice flowers around the compound and nice trees that provide shade. Those type of things are very, very, very nice, and they're my favorite to look at. So botany is very, very good, and it provides that beauty of the world. And people who engage in botany mainly do that. So botany is the study of plants. Plants can be studied for various reasons. You can study them to conserve them. You can study them to extract medicines and other things out of them, and so many other things. Okay. Another branch we can look at is physiology. Okay. Who can tell me what physiology means?
The functioning of parts of organisms. Physiology, functioning of parts of organisms.
Okay, that is correct. Functioning of parts of organisms. Yes, physiology deals with that. The body processes, how different parts of the body work in different organisms. Okay, so functions and processes. When you're studying physiology, that's what you're dealing with. When I was still studying biology like you, this was my favorite branch because here we looked at things like digestion, immuno response, like how your immune system works. Like right now, you hear doctors every day on TV telling you, eat a lot of fruits, eat oranges, make sure your immune system is working well, exercise. The knowledge that the doctors are using to tell you that is the knowledge of physiology, okay? So that's the reason why we study physiology. Those doctors have studied physiology. When you study physiology, you get to know what the body needs to resist diseases and things like that. And this branch has been vital in the fight against COVID-19. Okay, so keep on eating those fruits, especially those that have a lot of vitamins, like vitamin C, so that
Even
your
making
immune
juices.
system. Yes, even making juices. You're correct. So all those physiological studies are very, very vital in this branch. So let's look at the life processes. Okay. Now, in order for us to classify that, oh, this organism or this thing, whatever you're looking at, is living or non-living, we use life processes. Okay, we have a couple of them, these life processes that determine whether something is living or non-living. Now, in the past, these life processes have been used to classify so many things, including viruses, okay? And scientists found out that the viruses, like COVID-19 virus, do not actually meet some of these life processes. So they started classifying viruses as non-living. They just call them particles. But that wasn't conclusive. Some scientists said, no, these things should be really living because they contain molecules like DNA and RNA and other things. And then others said, no, these things are not living. They don't meet other life processes like nutrition, okay? So the debate is still there. Now, once you study these life processes as you, a biology student, you can choose and decide, okay, are viruses living or non-living? You make more research and all that. But today I'll show you some of the life processes, and probably by the end of the day, you can decide, okay? All right. So these life processes are here. The first one, we have nutrition. Okay, nutrition right here. And in nutrition, you're looking at the fact that for anything to be said that it is living, it has to be able to eat. Okay, to eat. Food is very, very, very important in classification of living organisms. And then another one is respiration. Okay. An organism should respire. If anything is to be called an organism, it should be able to respire. Okay. The other one is produce and remove waste, which we call excretion. Excretion is very, very, very important. All right. Then we have growth and development, increase in size, length, whatever has to do with increase in the body size or length. If it is like a tree or something, that is growth. So for you to be called living, you have to be able to grow. Now, all these have exceptions. You might find that like a human being has a disease and they can't grow. That doesn't mean that they cease to be living organisms. They are living because they have that ability, but the ability has been affected by a certain disease or something. Okay, so here we are looking mainly about the ability. If you can do it, then you are living. The other one, we have movement. Movement is very, very important for living organisms. They have to move. Now, movement varies. You can move from one place to another, which we call locomotion, or you can move by changing direction due to response, or just growing, increasing in length, or growing from one place to another. That can be movement also. For example, when you plant something, if you plant a flower inside your house, it will always grow towards the window if it is near a window, growing towards light. That is a type of movement. Okay. The other one is reproduction. You can see it here. Reproduction is very, very important. Living organisms should be able to reproduce, right? They should be able to reproduce on their own, and which is very, very, very important. Lastly, they should be able to respond to the environment, which we call sensitivity. They should be able to respond to the environment. We call that sensitivity, to be sensitive. For example, when you touch something that is hot, you immediately move away because your body has sensed that there is danger where you have touched and you have moved away. That shows that you're sensitive. Okay, so sensitivity is very, very, very important. So all these enable us to classify living organisms as living or non-living. These are 7. We call them the 7 criteria sometimes. It's the 7 criteria because it is the criteria we use to classify living organisms. Now, each of these living processes have a function. They have a function to the living organism for survival. Without them, that function is eliminated and probably that organism can not survive. Okay. For example, if you lost your ability to feed or to eat, there would be no possibility for you to live. So it will be very, very hard for you to live. Okay. There are some that, for example, if you lost your ability to move, that is okay, right? That you can do without, but others you cannot do without. Very good. Any question about that?
No.
Questions? If you have a question, please ask. If you've not understood something or you still have a question about something, ask. Okay, very good. Very good. We can continue. I have a question for you here. The question says, just observe these pictures, and you have to tell us which one is a life process and why, and which one of them is not a life process and why. So let's start with the first one, figure number 1. This one. Please mute your volume if you're not answering a question or if you're just joining. Okay. Which one? I mean, this picture that I'm pointing at right now, is it a life process or not? If it is, tell us why. If it is not, also tell us why.
It is
Who
not.
wants to go first?
It is not.
Okay, someone has said it is not. Can you give us the reason why?
It does not have any.
It does not.
Let's
It does
first have
not
Timothy
undergo
speak.
respiration.
Timothy was the first.
It does not have any of the symptoms. Not the symptoms. The
Life processes.
yeah.
Does not have any of the life processes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Then Hannah, you had something to say and I cut you off. Hannah, you can go next.
That was what I was going to say.
Okay, that was what you were going to say. Yes, very good. Now, we are going on the next one. You're very, very correct. This one, it is not a life process, okay? It's because we don't see any function that it has to any living organism. There is no living organism involved here, okay? What about picture 2? Is this what we are seeing here in the next picture here? Living, that's not the question.
Yes.
Is it a life process or
Yeah.
not a life
Yeah,
process?
it's a life process.
If it is a life process, tell us why.
Because the lion is feeding on the zebra.
Needs. And that is nutrition.
Miracle, pardon?
Because the lion is feeding on the zebra, and that's nutrition, as one of us has said.
The lion is feeding on the zebra, and that is nutrition. That is very
Yeah.
good. Mary, you had something to say?
Said it is feeding.
It is feeding. That is very, very correct, Mary. Well done. So both of you are very correct. Okay. We see that this is a life process. The lion is very, very busy enjoying a meal of a zebra. Okay. That is a life process. The reason why it is a life process because it has a function attached behind. The function here is nutrition. That a lion is getting nutrients out of the zebra. Okay, which is absolutely correct. Well done. I think you're getting this now. Now I have life processes here in pictures that you will tell me which ones they are. The first one is right here where I'm pointing here. That's the first one. You tell us the life process and the reason why you think it is that life process.
Yes, it is. It
It is
is
sensitivity. Sensitivity. The reason why I think
Nasha has not said something. Nasha has raised her hand. Very good. Nasha, tell us.
It's sensitivity because the person has reacted to changes in the environment.
Very good. The person has reacted to the changes in the environment. So the person touched a very hot pan and the person reacted. They removed their hands immediately. That is absolutely correct. Esther, you have something to say. You're raising up your hand. Please say it. Yes, please. Okay, let's continue. The next one is right here. This right here. What is happening in this picture? Which life process and why?
Growth.
Okay, you can raise your hand. Let's see those who are able now to raise their hands. Timothy, you were the first one to raise your hand. Tell us.
growth.
Growth, why?
Because it looks like the plant is growing in his hand.
Yes, so we see that the cues that are giving us that this is growth, we can see there is soil there, and we're seeing a seedling that is very busy growing. So this is growth, and growth is very important for the survival of a living organism. So very correct, Timothy. The next one is some of you, it might be your favorite activity. Tell us, which one is this?
Exclusion.
Who said excretion? Tell us why.
Because he or she is excreting wastes.
Yes, he or she is excreting. Okay, very good. Is there any other idea about this? Yes, the person who is raising up their hand, you're taking, come on, 15. Tell us, the person raising up the hand. You didn't register with your name. The one with taking. Okay, taking won't speak. All right, so that is very good. Okay, that's very, very, very good. This is excretion, which is a very, very important process in all living organisms. Tell me, if, for example, if a human being was not able to excrete, what would happen to their bodies? Who can tell me? Raise up your hand if you know. Yes, Timothy.
They would become really big and
They would
they would
become
die.
really big. Okay, that's a good one. They would become really big or die. Another one. Let's see. Yes, Miracle.
They could die because
Gonza, you'll be next.
They will start the body will start developing those fats and oil, and they will become boils around their bodies.
Exactly. That is very good. Kugonza.
The waste will stay in their body and they will become harmful.
Okay, the waste will stay in their body and they will become harmful. That is correct. Cedric, finally. Yes, Cedric.
The waste in our bodies leading to poison.
Okay, that is very, very good. That is very, very correct. Everything you have said is correct. So these wastes would stay in your body, then they would affect your body processes. Some of them can become poisons. So many other things that can happen. Some of them, they have to be cut. You've heard of people whose intestines have been cut off partly, such things. So all those are very, very important. So excretion is very important. When you don't excrete, you're in trouble, seriously. You're in huge trouble. So every time you feel like, hey, it's been a while since I've excreted, just tell your parents to take you to a hospital to be checked out before those excretory things affect your body. Okay? So that is very good. That's what I prepared for you today. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson. I hope you guys have learned something, and I hope to see you next time. I have an activity that I'm going to send in the WhatsApp group. Please do it. The way to do it, if you have the means, you can use MS word processing to do the activity, or you can use a PowerPoint, or you can write in your books. Actually, I would prefer the last one, that you write in your books and take pictures of the answers. After taking pictures of the answers, you share them in the WhatsApp group. I'll look at them. But if you have other means like using word processing and PowerPoint, you can use. I'm going to send the activity. Someone has a question. Someone said, excuse me, who was that?
Mary.
Yes, please. Okay, Mary.
Is irritability under life process?
Yes, irritability. The other word for irritability is sensitivity. So you're correct. Let me show you here. The other word for sensitivity, we call it irritability here. So it's a life process, okay? And we saw even an example. We saw an example here of someone, this is irritability right there, of someone who touched a hot pan and they moved their hands. So that is irritability. When you don't call it irritability, you call it sensitivity. Okay, so Mary, that's a very, very good question.
Thank you.
Yes, I have a question also. Okay, probably Esther didn't have a question. She just forgot her hand up. Okay, as I was saying, I have an activity for you. I'm going to send it in the WhatsApp group. You do it. If you have PowerPoint, you can use PowerPoint. If you have Word, you can use word processing, or you can write in your books and take pictures. I feel like writing in the books and taking pictures would be easier for all of you. So if you can, just do that. And then send your work in the group. I'll look at it and give you feedback. Is that okay with all of you?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
Very, very, very good. All right. Well done for today. This is the end of our class. Please make sure you do the activity. Enjoy the rest of the day. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.